I am Kim Colby, the president of Seniors on the Move. This is the lovely Nancy Tinian. We are here today to roll out our 2021 schedule for the Day Tripper Tours. Yay! We're going on our 5th year. So this is louder. You want to turn me up?
I will try.
Turn up the volume. I should never do that. If my kids saw that, they would be mortified. Okay. Give me some sound check. Check, check. 1, 2. I always wanted to do that. Anyway, we had, that's better, yes? We had a really good group here this morning. And we have a lot of people that did not show up yet this afternoon. So if they filter in, we'll try to make a space for them. Otherwise, we're going to put this presentation online. So if you do want to share it with friends, you can tell them that you can find it on our website at seniorsonthemove-ia.com. So for starters, I would just like to thank everybody for doing the social distancing, wearing your masks when you're going up to get refreshments, and the whole 9 yards, because we've unfortunately had to do that now at all of our events, but everybody's been really good about it. So, speaking of safety, our motor coach safety is always number one. So even before COVID, we always made sure that the companies that we used, and we used primarily exclusively Windstar and Aero motor coach lines, for our tours, because they are highly, highly trained, experienced. Their equipment is top notch. And now, in this environment, they are using really intensive disinfecting methods and technology. They're using foggers that kill 99.99999% of all the germs. And they form a protective shield around all the surfaces. The air filtration devices that they have in the motor coaches are 8 times, is that right? This morning I said 10 times. 10 times higher than they use on the airlines. But it's actually 8 times. And I told Nancy, well, Nancy looked it up and it's 8 times. I said 10 times. I'm in marketing, I exaggerate everything. So anyway, it's really, really good. And they have a fresh air exchange every 10 minutes. So we feel really good about that. We feel like we're doing as much as we can to keep you all safe. Our bus drivers, they're always very professional. And if you've ever traveled with us and seen some of the precarious situations they can get us out of. Dave Hennessy, yes, who is a member. And his lovely wife is here today. And he took us, into a cornfield and backed us out. And, the farmer came out, the farmer and the wife came out of the house, and they're like, is he gonna hit that barn? Yeah, and it was wonderful. So then everybody's clapping, and so our drivers, they really know their stuff, and they're very, very good. And all the drivers wear masks. We are requiring that everyone wears a mask as we're traveling down the road, and it's worked out quite well. All the venues that we use, the places that we tour, the restaurants that we go to, we make sure that they're all, complying with the latest health and safety guidelines. So, here's our first trip. Oh, and I will tell you that when we are finished, we have, of course, the brochures that the lovely Vienna will unveil, and then there'll be stacks of brochures that you can pick up, and also individual registration forms, but all of the forms are available online, so you can download them at home. So if you don't want to take them all with you, then that helps if you just want to do that at home. So we'll have all that information here available at the end of the presentation. So our first trip out is going to be in the spring, and we hope that the environment looks a whole lot brighter and sunnier this spring. April 29th, Tulip Paradise in Pella. We haven't been to Pella before, so this is kind of exciting. We'll do the normal kind of tours, go to the historical village, the Vermeer Mill. We'll be having a traditional Dutch meal with our luncheon. We'll have a costume style show, so we'll have people that will come through and educate us about the costumes and show us the costumes and explain all that. This is going to be about a week before the actual Tulip Festival. So we anticipate that everything will be in bloom and all the stores will be stocked and it'll be really nice. We'll have a step-on guide after lunch that will show us all the sights around Pella and then take us to the Schulte House Museum and the Glockenspiel, which I understand is a clock, and then there's these little figures, wood, clogs or whatever, and yeah, come out and do something. I don't know what they do, but it's going to be really cool. And then there'll be lots of time for shopping at the end, because people tend to like those Dutch letters and Pella bologna and all kinds of goodies. So, and one thing I'll point out, if you see over here where we're listing the prices, we have a member price for Seniors on the Move members, non-member price for non-members. We have a lot of non-members that like to travel with us, and that's great. Just have a different pricing structure there. Then we have a new membership club level called Day Trippers Club. So we wanted to do something to, do something special for our travelers that, frequent travelers really like to travel with us. So we put together this year an annual Day Tripper Club. And if you become a member of that club, and we will be giving you the very lowest prices as well as some other valuable benefits that I'll talk about at the end. The suspense, right? Oh, she's like, no, don't point at the screen, point over there. Hits of the decade. This is a cruise on the Celebration Bell Riverboat, and we have done this in the past. We did one just this fall. It's fabulous. You cruise down the Mississippi. We'll be doing this on May 20th. This is the Celebration Bell. If you're not familiar with it, it does hold 750 passengers, but during these times, we're seeing more like about 150 is what we had this fall. It's a whole lot of fun, but they go out. It doesn't matter if there's 15 people, they're going out. So there's plenty of room. They're very famous for their homemade sticky rolls and fruit, which they serve to you with coffee when you first get on the boat, which is fun. And then they have a big spread, a nice 2 entree lunch that they serve us. And there's a narrated cruise that kind of, it happens up above, and you can hear it up above. You can also hear it down below until the music starts. Because after lunch, well, it's actually before and after lunch, that the live band starts playing. And this particular cruise is the Decades Cruise, so we'll be playing hits from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And they take all requests, and if any of you were with us on the last cruise that we went, you could see how Nancy dances. There's no stopping her. You cannot stop her. She gets in a line and she's doing the locomotion or something. I don't know. Yeah, that whatever, you're in a line and your legs go up. And I have video if anybody wants to see that. So that's our Celebration Bell. Adventures in Omaha. This is a trip that we had planned for last June, and unfortunately we had to cancel it because things got shut down. So we did want to go ahead and roll this into this year's lineup. If anybody was registered for last year and decided to take the option of transferring, you're already then paid and booked on this trip, but you can check with us just to make sure. So this will be June 8th. We'll start in the Lauritzen Gardens, and they have a tram, so we'll take the tram through the gardens and just see all kinds of beautiful things. Do that in the morning, and then venture down to the old market where we'll have lunch at Spaghetti Works and do a little shopping. Seems to be a theme at our trips, shopping. And then we will also go to the Crystal Forge Glass Studio and see an artist who does some really amazing things with stained glass, blown glass, all kinds of glass. So that trip has also the members 110, non-members 125, day trippers 95. June 16th, showtime at Circa 21. This is a dinner theater in Rock Island. We have been there several times in the past for different shows, so we always have a good time there. This particular show will be Beehive. So Beehive is a 60s musical, and Nancy informed me that it is called Beehive because people used to wear their hair up in a beehive and rat it up high. So, like some people have done some beehives. I'm learning all kinds of things, So we're going to first stop at the Antique Archaeology, which is like the home of the American Pickers, if you've ever seen that show. And that'll be kind of a fun stop before we head over for the performance. When we do get to the theater, they have a performing wait staff, so that's really, really entertaining. And so, not only will we be entertained by the performance, but also the servers. It says, flashback to the fabulous females who left their mark on 60s pop music. So you'll be dancing all over the place for this one. Maybe me, I don't know. I wouldn't hold your breath there. Independence Tour. This is another one that we had planned to do this year and we're unable, so we're excited to get this one out there. It's going to be very patriotic. July 1st, we're going to West Branch and Iowa City. In West Branch, we'll start at the Hoover Library and Museum, walk through there, listen to everything they have to tell us about Herbert Hoover and his impact on the country. Down in West Branch, they have totally a renovated Main Street, cute shops, cute places to eat, that type of thing. We'll be having lunch at the Brick Arch Winery and plenty of places to shop then after lunch as well. And then we head over to Iowa City. And our first stop in Iowa City will be Plum Grove Historic House, which was the home of Iowa's first governor, actually governor of the territory of Iowa. I think it was before it was a state. And then from there, we'll head to the old Capitol Museum and then on to the University of Iowa's Museum of Natural History. So we'll be learning a whole lot, getting a lot of education about our country, about the state on this tour. And that's members are $85 for this one, non-members $95, day tripper club members $75. So you can see how they always have a little bit better price. Okay, now who knew? We had a lot of foodies. We did some surveys because before we set up our itineraries each year, we want to know where people want to go, what they want to do, what they might want to repeat that they've done in the past. So we found out from our survey that we have some foodies and people want to do things and learn things about food. And because we're so fortunate to live in this really rich agricultural environment here, which younger people are more and more taking part in and kind of reviving it, we want to see what's being locally sourced and that type of thing. So we have planned for July 20th a trip that starts in Winterset, and we'll be going to Rusty Star's Alpacas Farm. Aren't these just so cute? Alpacas. So we're going to learn all about alpacas, how they're raised, why they're raised, and they're just so darn cute. That's all I can say. And the Pamel Park Coffee Company is also nearby, so we'll get a tour of that company. It's a young couple from Minnesota, I believe, that decided that they didn't want to live in the city anymore. They wanted to kind of come back to, I believe maybe one of them was from here, but come back, live on a farm and do something different. And so they started this coffee company. From there we go to the Henry Wallace Country Life Center. And this is where we'll be having our locally sourced luncheon, which they will prepare for us. They have a restored prairie there, a gathering barn, beautiful sculptures, gardens. It's really lovely. So we'll get a presentation from them also on the Wallace family and their impact on not only Iowa and agriculture, but also the country. On our way back, we will be stopping at the Saints Center in Stewart. This was, All Saints was a Catholic church that burned down a few years ago. It's been renovated now, beautifully renovated, and is now used as a cultural and arts center. So we'll get to tour that. And then, since it is kind of a foodie tour, our last stop will be for chocolate at Drew's Chocolates in Redfield. So we'll get to tour that, sample, eat, buy, it's gonna be great. Next. Oops, I went backwards. Yeah, yeah. Okay, guess what?
Ta-da!
Okay, this is our first overnight. It is a Minnesota lakeside retreat. And I sent Nancy and her husband up there to check it out, and she came back with these sweatshirts. She's like, we've got to wear them at the rollout. Yeah, it is a little warm, but that's okay because it's worth it. So we decided that we were gonna do, it's a 3-day tour. And I feel like Gilligan's Island, 3-day tour. Wednesday to Friday, August 11th to the 13th, so summer, should be nice in Minnesota. And we thought it would be a great thing for you to plan for your summer vacation. It is Rutgers Bay Lodge is a beautiful resort. It's in the Brainerd Lakes area of Minnesota. One of the oldest continuously family-owned businesses, resorts in the Midwest. And they've been around for 120 years, long time. So they must be doing something right. 3-day, 2-night package is what we've put together. And it starts with the wine and cheese welcome reception. Somehow you always do that for me, don't you, Nancy? Wine and cheese. The accommodations, they've got really nice lakeside cabins, little condos, villas. Did you want to talk a little bit about the actual accommodations?
Yeah, there are a variety of different places to stay, but the cottages or the cabins are lakeside, and a lot of those have 2 bedrooms, and you share, living room space, and so they're just lovely, furnished beautifully. And then also there are new villas that actually face towards the lake also. So, several people can almost stay in the same place. And then there are cottages that are more like a lodge, where you can actually have one room if you really want to stay by yourself. There are places like that. My husband and I stayed in the lodge, and we had a screened-in patio that looked over the lake, and it was like, I didn't look at home, so they were lovely.
Good. Yeah, I think, there are a lot of different options, and if you're interested, then, we can talk to you more about the actual accommodations that will be best for you. But these packages do include all the morning breakfasts and the evening dinners that are in the dining room of the lodge. And the food is fabulous. She gives it a thumbs up on that. Okay. Group activities. So we'll be having some group activities that you may or may not want to participate in when we go on this tour, but we'll have the pontoon outings just for our group, doing a little nature hike. I'm going to be taking a group out for golf, probably on day 2, and Nancy will be eating ice cream over there on the right-hand side. So.
Want to sign up with me?
That's our group.
All that ice cream.
Yes, Auntie M's ice cream. I hear it's fabulous. You'll see that someone has an ice cream fetish. Bonfires every single night. We'll have bonfires and s'mores and live music, and we have also a member who's a pretty good storyteller. So, it'll be a lot of fun to end the evenings there. And there's more. So all these are included in your package. Say, maybe you want to do a few group activities, but maybe I want to go play pickleball. Well, then you go play pickleball. So you can use the tennis and pickleball courts. You can play by yourself, the 9-hole golf course. There are beaches there, lakeside, indoor, outdoor pools, whirlpool, sauna. There's a spa there, exercise classes, yoga, shuffleboard. I don't know how to play shuffleboard, but I had someone this morning that said that they would teach me, so I might have to make time for that. But just an endless amount of activities to choose from, so really something for everyone. So here are the member package prices, day tripper. Oh, I'm sorry, did I miss the kayaks? Oh, sorry. Okay, ooh, thank you for that. So more activities. So free use of non-motorized marina equipment. So we've got paddle boats, kayaks, canoes, all of that is included in the package. If you wanted to rent a fishing boat or something that was motorized, then they would give you a discount on that. Also discounts at all of the Rutgers shops. And Nancy got this lovely sweatshirt there. And she likes the shops. So yeah, fun. Now I'll go to the next slide. So here we've got our packages, and for this particular tour, you can reserve your spot with just $250 deposit. And that would be fully refundable if you changed your mind by April 9th. So we would not need to have full payment until April 9th on that. So we are really looking forward to this one, and I'm going to be sitting right in that Adirondack chair in the middle. And I might have a little glass of wine next to me. Just saying. All right, August 26th, kids are hopefully going back to school, right? Back to school metro tour. This is another one that we had planned for 2020 and it just couldn't happen. But we are really looking forward to this one. Not your average field trip. We're going to start at the Iowa State Capitol, tour the Capitol, which is, as you know, one of the most beautiful in the country, right here in our own backyard. And after that, we'll head down to the World Food Prize, Hall of Laureates. Another thing that is just incredible, an incredible thing to have right here, so close to us. This tour will be in an open air trolley. So as we're going around, the open air trolley will then take us from the World Food Prize down past the Terrace Hill and Salisbury House, and we'll make our way over to the Des Moines Arts Center. That's where we'll have lunch, and it will be catered by Tangerine, a very, very wonderful caterer. They actually do the food there at the Art Center. If it's nice, we can sit outside in the sculpture garden there. So it'll really be nice. And then after lunch, we'll head on down to Valley Junction to do a little back to school shopping. And it'll be Thursday and it'll be summer, and that means farmer's market. Who said rain? No, that means the farmer's market will be going on. So that'll be really cool. So this will be a fun trip and just kind of, in your own backyard, but something to get out and do something and see things you might not normally do on your own. All right, and after that, in September, this is one we have not done before. Waterloo, the must-see sites in Waterloo and the surrounding areas, September 16. We'll start at the Sullivan Brothers Veterans Museum. And that's something that I think everyone needs to see, actually. And it really honors the service of our veterans from here in the state of Iowa. Lunch and shopping at Barn Happy. And that's something that I heard this morning, that is very cool and will make everyone happy. And from there, that's over in Cedar Falls area. So we'll head up and go to Barn Happy and then pop back down south and go to the John Deere Tractor Museum. And this tour that we'll get there, it is at the site of the original factory, the original site. So that will be interesting. And then from there, we will start to head south home, and we'll stop in Gladbrook and see the matchstick marvels. So this is an artist who for 40 years has been building incredible models out of matchsticks. So, of course, he's in Ripley's Believe It or Not world, it's just, I can't believe the things that I saw online when I started researching this that he's done, satellites and, Capitol and all kinds of buildings.
That
and
picture is?
That is him. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, he does go to the Iowa State Fair, right. So really incredible. And then while people are touring the Matchstick Marvels, part of the group will be with Nancy, probably eating ice cream or pie. There's a place called Spanky's. She's arranged, that we can kind of some of us go to Matchstick Marvels and some are eating pie and ice cream and coffee. So that'll be fun. And then October 6th, Magical Mason City. Does anybody think Mason City is magical? I do. Yes, I do. And you'll see why if you come with us. So, not back, but forward. Mason City is really one of the world's 20 best cities for architecture lovers. And so we will spend the morning with a step-on guide tour of the historic district that will show us all kinds of things and primarily point out the wonderful architecture of Frank Lloyd Wright that is all through Mason City, including the Stockman House and the historic Park Inn, which is one of the only Frank Lloyd Wright hotels in the country, anywhere. Come on. There it goes. No. All right, then we'll have lunch in the Decker House. This is a old Victorian mansion, I believe, that has been renovated. So we'll be having our lunch there. And then after that, we'll be going to the Charles McNider Art Museum. And that's where you'll see these puppets from the famous puppeteer, Bill Bill. You'll see his puppets. I know it's Bill with one L. It's Bill with one L. So that'll be really cool. And he is a Mason City native, as is Meredith Wilson from Music Man. And we'll be going to Music Man Square. And Music Man Square has, these people in costume and old-fashioned ice cream parlors. Yeah. 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 So.
I don't know whether she's putting that ice cream in or not, but I would vote for that.
Yeah, it's included. It's got to be included, right? So anyway, that'll be a real fun trip, and we've got that one priced out accordingly there. And then our second overnight adventure, Mississippi River Towns tour, and we recently did a trip to Galena, and it was just fabulous. Even though, we had less people that went, and we were dealing with pandemic and all that. I mean, I would love to go back to Galena after the pandemic, so. Yeah, it was 75 degrees in the fall. It was beautiful, and there was outside, seating to eat and that type of thing, but it was still just fabulous, and we will have to plan another trip there. So anyway, everybody was really into the river, and it's a great time of year for it. So, I think we need a new battery for this. What? I'm doing the best I can here. So we're gonna start on our way to Dubuque, because we're gonna start in Dubuque and then go south. So on our way, we're gonna stop at the Field of Dreams, and we will stop, get out, stretch our legs, take some pictures, come out of a cornfield, whatever you wanna do. Just, something we should see because we're driving by, right? And then we'll get to Dubuque just about lunchtime, and we'll have lunch at Catfish Charlie's there in Dubuque, which will be very tasty. And then we'll head down to the Mississippi River Museum and Aquarium.
I think we have alligator bites.
They have alligator bites? Okay. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Tastes like chicken, everything tastes like chicken. You never know what you'll be eating, right? But Mississippi River Museum is really an incredible place. We've been there a few years back, and inside and outside, some fabulous exhibits and things to see there. You'll learn a lot. And then after that, we have Wide River Winery in Clinton, which is a beautiful view overlooking the Mississippi, and have a glass of wine or water or whatever. It'll just be a nice place to kind of stop and rest before we head to the hotel. And so the hotel we'll be staying at will be in LeClaire, also overlooking the river, Holiday Inn Express. So that will be nice. Get checked in and then have a little bit of time to rest. And then that evening we're going to have our dinner at Crane and Pelican, which is down here. If you see this little brick historical looking house, that is the restaurant, which is really fabulous inside. On a hill, overlooking the river, beautiful. So very, very nice food there. We'll be having dinner there. Next morning, we'll get up and have a tour of the Buffalo Bill Museum, and that's in LeClaire. And then also have some time just in downtown LeClaire to shop and mess around, so it'll be fun.
An ice cream?
Yeah.
Not yet. Not yet. All right, oh my gosh. Back we go. Then we'll head down to Burlington. When we get to Burlington, we will have a step-on tour of Burlington and Snake Alley. If you're not familiar with that, that's the little slide there on the bottom, the little photo on the bottom. People will be dropped off, I confirm this, up top on the hill and picked up on the bottom. So you don't have to walk back up, okay? So you can take the little windy snake path down, take some group photos, and then be picked up by the bus. Then we'll go to Catfish Bend Inn and Spa, and that's where we'll be spending Wednesday night. So that'll be good. Wednesday, after we're checked in, have a little bit of free time at Catfish Bend, then we'll board the bus and go for a progressive dinner finale. And that means we will be going to 3 separate places for our dinner. So a little bit upscale. You might want to bring something a little bit nicer, you know, your black slacks. No sweatshirts, yeah. And so we're going to start with appetizers at a place called Martini's. Then our main course will be served at the Drake.
I thought that said appetizers and martinis.
No, well, you can have appetizers and martinis at Martini's. And the Drake for the main course, and then for dessert we go to a place called the Ivy. So this will be kind of fun. I said we're stepping up our game here, aren't we? Yeah, yeah. Okay, then the next morning we'll start back downtown in Burlington. There's a few walking tours that will be available for people that are interested. Otherwise, if they just want to shop or relax, they can also do that. And then as we head back, we don't quite have all the stops figured out yet, but we may stop at Danville at the Anne Frank Museum. So we will be, of course, winding down the Great River Road and on this trip, and the colors should be just beautiful for this time of year. This trip can be reserved for a $175 deposit, and that would be until August 19th for this one. Amish country tour. Yes, we're getting new batteries. Jamesport. This was our very first trip in 2017, the very first trip that day trippers ever took. So if any of you were on this trip, you were with us in the very beginning. November 16th is the date for this tour. And we will have buggy rides, shopping, candle making demonstration, lunch there at the Mennonite Dutch Pantry restaurant. Very good food. Nobody goes away hungry from there. Pies. They probably have ice. They do have an ice cream machine.
Gooseberry pie, but would you like it warmed? I said, oh, of course. And she said, would you like ice cream? I said, oh.
Of course. Of course she would. So that will be great. The food will be great. We'll have, after lunch, a tour of an authentic Amish farm. So I don't know if that's like about an hour tour, and then we'll go back through some of the different areas to wine tasting shop, bakery, country store, fabric barn, and then on the way out of town, Graber's greenhouse. So that'll be fun. Okay. And the suspense, I know it's killing you. Okay, so just quickly, our payment and cancellation policy, we, as always, accept registrations on paper or over the phone, or you can do it online too. Take cash, check, credit card. All the registrations are confirmed with full payment. If you want to just kind of like get your name out there as a placeholder, we'll put it on the wait list in the order received. And overnight trips are different. So like I said, for the overnight trips, the 2 overnights that we have, those adventures, you will be able to reserve your seats with a deposit. So that's an exception to that rule. Registrations are always 100% refundable for all the day trips up to 60 days prior. If it's less than 60 days from the tour date, then we will credit you and have a 50% admin fee. So that's something to consider, that you will want to, make sure that within 60 days prior to the trip leaving, are you sure you want to go? Obviously, that said, anytime you have to cancel for a health reason, family emergency, anything like that, we're pretty good about, looking at that on a case-by-case basis. So, and now, Day Trippers Club membership. Like I said in the beginning, we just really wanted to do something special for our frequent travelers. So we put this together for 2021 season. And if you join the Day Trippers Club, you will have the lowest registration fees on all the tours. You will have something we call trip assurance. So that means that you can cancel anytime for any reason with no admin fees. So you would never have to pay that 50% admin fee even if you canceled the day before. We'll also give you special opportunities to earn Day Tripper miles. And those Day Tripper miles don't have any cash value, but you'll be able to redeem them on trips, registration fees for trips, and also some other types of merchandise that we're putting together. So the club membership is $125 for the year, and that just covers everything, all the tours, that you will be eligible for these benefits. And if you pay before November 30th, it's just $100. So a little break if you make that decision in the next couple weeks. Do need to be a Seniors on the Move member to join the Day Trippers Club, because this is something we want to do special for our travelers. I think that is it. Whoops. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to.